We shouldn't believe what we can't see or what we can't confirm. Something that has no basis is not true. The book The Dead Persimmon Trees Do Not Bloom interprets the Buddhist law of interdependent arising and Gong thought. We can clearly see the teachings of Gong thought that dead things are useless and that only living things can lead life by the law of interdependent arising. You have received the precepts prescribed by the Buddha, and also you have lunch. You are feeling good, right? Today, I'm going to give the sermon about receiving precepts prescribed by the Buddha and the law of interdependent arising. What is the receiving precepts prescribed by the Buddha? Receiving precepts prescribed by the Buddha is also the law of interdependent arising. Why is that? What will the receiving precepts prescribed by the Buddha become when it is interpreted in depth? It will become Gong thought. Why is that? What happens when the bright light you receive disappears? The bright light become the sentient beings, right? But do the people sit at the back lose their ears? I guess they don't understand. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. If the bright light that went into your body disappears, the light become the sentient being. So the bright light shouldn't be disappeared. That's why I'm saying that receiving precepts prescribed by the Buddha is the most important to you. Why? If you receive the bright light, your body is always in a state of Gong thought. That's why you should receive the bright light. Get it? That's why everyone has to receive the bright light before you die. So I put the bright light of Maitreya Buddha and the Maitreya Buddha into your body. Then you live with the light of Maitreya Buddha all day and night. In the past, people was lacking knowledge. They believed that good things would happen if they prayed hard, so they went to the temple and made offering to Buddha. Those days are gone. According to the news, TV sets are not sold much either. TV sets are not sold well. Why? Many people are just watching YouTube, so they don't have to watch TV, right? So it doesn't make sense to close your eyes and pray because the world has changed this much, right? So you have to keep up with the times. If you don't keep up with the times, you will be always in the back, because you are always behind others. It is hard to live, and you don't know where to go after the death. Get it? Then think Abu how precious the law of the interdependent arising is. It is so precious, and I'm the only one in the world who knows about it. There is the law of the interdependent arising which was made by Shakyamuni Buddha, but the law of the interdependent arising made by Shakyamuni Buddha is the sentient being, so you shouldn't use it. You are studying the enlightened law. I shouldn't teach you the law of the sentient beings, should I? So you don't have to learn that. Even if you learned it in the past, you have to put it out of your mind. You heard CEO Jung's sermon earlier, right? There is no big difference in your ability, it's similar. Why aren't you answering? Are you embarrassed? You also have respectable ability. That's why when you listen to the CEO Jung's lecture, you evaluate it in your heads. Is that word right according to the law I have learned from Yongpo Maitreya Buddha? You may think in your head, to be honest, I hope you become great people in the future. Humans has come to the world the same way. Some people disappear after the death, and some people will be reincarnated as human or will go to the Yongpo world after the death. How different is it for humans to live? Your life changes depending on how you live. That's why the law of interdependent arising is so precious. Interdependent arising can only be done by the person who have received the precepts prescribed by the Buddha. People who haven't received the precepts prescribed by the Buddha can't do the interdependent arising. Don't you think so? Those who don't receive the precepts prescribed by the Buddha can't do the interdependent arising, is that right? They don't do the interdependent arising. You have to receive the precepts prescribed by the Buddha. Receive the bright light by Maitreya Buddha. It is precious. It's important to live every day, but you have to think about the future, right? Everyone should come and receive the precepts by me. Everyone has a soul, but you have to make your soul as one which is useful. Whether your soul will become useful or not depends on you. I have told you. There is a saying from a long time ago: take notice of an idea. If you think wrong, you might go the wrong way. If you think right, you might be able to get ahead. If you stop interdependent arising in the middle, it's meaningless. You have to keep doing it right. Those who are old, try to lie down in the evening. You may find that the day of death is near, and this year is just around the corner. Then the day of death keeps approaching. Death is the most unfortunate thing in the world. Listen carefully. Where would people who didn't receive the precepts go after the death? Those people will become ghosts. I told you a lot. That's why you have to receive the precepts, and those who receive the precepts are good in their lives. They won't be in big trouble. Raise your hands if misfortune befall you after receiving the precepts. Misfortune can't befall you who have received the precepts. People who haven't received the precepts might have problems. The believer who was suffering from Parkinson's disease has stopped shaking. Mouth? I have to prescribe the precepts on your mouth, right? The precepts is the Gong thought, right? The most difficult thing to understand in the world is the Gong thought. Even if you interpret it, you can't meet the end of it, okay? So think about the case you become the Gong thought. Think about it. Who can make you as the Gong thought since you are born as the sentient beings? I made you as the Gong thought. This world is crowded with ghosts. You just can't see ghosts. There are lots of ghosts in this world. Where do all the ghosts come from? These days, people say that Maitreya Buddha will come after 567 billion years. Does that make sense? How did people calculate the time 567 billion years? Someone told them. Listen carefully. Scientists all over the world have said something, right? Of course, monks are not the scientists. They don't know anything except chanting. Scientists say that the earth has a lifespan. How long is that lifespan? Scientists say that the lifespan of the earth is about 3 to 35 billion years. Then the earth disappears when it's about 3 to 35 billion years old. Why do monks say Maitreya Buddha will come to this world after 567 billion years later? Lying? What do you call people who lie? Scammers? There is no separate scammer. A person who lies is called a scammer. They have to speak reasonably for people to understand them when others hear them. Who would understand if they said something ridiculous? They say Maitreya Buddha who has come is fake. They are just struggling to survive. But if they say like that, Shakyamuni Buddha is also fake. Why is Shakyamuni Buddha is fake? If he was enlightened, he had to say the exact number. If he couldn't say the exact number, it's a lie. There is also a limit to saying good things to believers and monks. He shouldn't just tell such a lie. There is a way for the earth to remain intact in the future. It makes sense to say that the earth will disappear in 3 to 35 billion years, but it might not disappear. That's what I'm talking about. Then what should people do to make that happen? People have to remove all the cars on the street, and people should not use any oil. People shouldn't use gas, and they have to heat the room with wood. They shouldn't heat the room with gas. The reason why the earth will disappear in 3 to 35 years later is that the earth keeps warming. What happens if a person's blood pressure is blocked? The blood vessels in the head will burst. When the earth heats up, the earth bursts. That's what I'm talking about. If it explodes, the earth will be completely destroyed. So people say there is a lifespan of the earth. So to prevent the earth from disappearing, people shouldn't use those things like oil or gas. Do you know how much an oil factory stoked the furnace? Things like electricity makes the earth sick, and things like landfills also make the earth sick. If you go to Nanjito Island, you may find that people have dumped trash for decades. Now it's a mountain of trash. Go to the Nanjito Island and look at the hillside of the garbage mountain. People dig a big hole and put a post into it, and the gas fire kept burning. In the past, when we started a Samal project, we improved the restrooms and the kitchen. When people use the traditional bathroom, people collect feces and scoop it out later, and there is a lot of gas coming out. People cook with that gas. Although it smells a little, it is okay to cook. How did we use the bathroom in the past? In the past, we put the ash onto the feces, the ash which is left over after stoking. People cover the feces with the ash. That's how feces become compost. People don't do that now, so humans make the earth sick. The earth doesn't have a life expectancy, you just don't know about it. So I have been saying this since 10 years ago. I told you that when the world develops, it's hard for humans to live. It's hard for humans to live when the world develops. Go to the construction sites and look at the apartments. What will happen when people build 40 floors or 50 floors? It's not supposed to build so high. It is not supposed to build higher than 3 floors above the ground. It is not supposed to build that high. So, if people want to pass it on to future generations, there will be a problem in the future. This world has developed a lot. When the industry has developed, the electronics have developed, the items have developed, and the AI has developed, the world is becoming more difficult to live in. It should not be developed. Because it develops, people don't want to live in the countryside and come to Seoul after graduation. Not only in Korea but also in the world, agriculture is the best base for humans to live. It's not industrial, but it's agriculture. But you have to make a profit by engaging in agriculture. A bag of rice is not worth the price of a pair of sneakers. If you want to buy shoes these days, you have to pay more than 300,000 won. A farmer sweats in the summer and farm all year round to harvest in the fall. But if the price of a bag of rice is lower than that of a pair of sneakers, isn't there something wrong with the world? It's supposed to cost at least 1 million won for a bag of rice. If you think about the price of the items these days like electronics, it is supposed to cost at least 1 million won for a bag of rice. But does it make sense if it costs 200,000 won? These days, most people don't cook rice and eat a lot of bread. People are too lazy to make food, so they choose to buy some hamburgers or breads to eat. Then, people don't consume a lot of rice. Then as time goes by, wheat won't grow in the future. It's not a lie. Because the weather keeps warming, the wheat farming is impossible. The wheat will burn out. Rice becomes more expensive when such an era comes. That's what I'm talking about. That's why it's out of balance for humans to live. It's out of balance. It needs to be balanced, but there is rice left over these days. On the other hand, there are some countries which are suffering from a shortage of food. Even though our country has small land, we have so beautiful mountain and fertile soil. You are living in such a nice country. Imagine that you will be reincarnated in this country after the death. Reincarnation is conditional on reincarnation. If you are reincarnated in poor country, what would you do? Do you want to go that kind of place? Reincarnation is conditional on reincarnation. Where can't pay ghost go? Reincarnation is conditional on reincarnation. How good Korea is to live in. Compared with our country, the North Korea doesn't have good farmland. Our country has the best weather conditions in the world. It's not just soil that matters. Scenery is also important. What is scenery? The sun, the wind, and the humidity. These 3 things should be appropriate. Our country's land is so beautiful. Look at the trees in the foreign country. There are no trees like Korean pine trees in the world. Our country's pine trees are beautiful. Look at the American pine tree. Foreign pine trees are long, and there is a lot of resin. The fact that there's a lot of resin in the tree means that trees have a lot of karma. The fat person also has the dampness evil in his or her body. The skinny people don't have the dampness evil because they have skinny bodies. That kind of person is not good. Either people need some fat. You are living in such beautiful country and meet Maitreya Buddha. If you can't attain the Buddhahood here, where should you attain the Buddhahood? Right? It doesn't matter if you are going to end up in this life. If you live, get old, die, and end up in this life, there is nothing to worry about. But you can't end up because you have the spirit. The spirit will wander around as a ghost when you die. And what I'm saying has a meaning, too. That's why I'm saying the gong thought is precious. We can't see the dead, nor we can't meet them. Even if we try to talk to them, they can't reply us. So in religion, people say they can go to paradise or heaven after the death. What's the point of people believing that? It all doesn't make sense, it's all lies. Then where does a tree go when it dies? The old trees have ghosts attached to the trees. Then where do the attached ghosts go after the trees are dead? You have to listen carefully. If you keep your thoughts simple, you don't get an answer. Ghosts are supposed to leave the tree when the tree dies. When people die of old age, the soul and their body leave, too. Do you think the soul also dies, too? No, the soul can't die because soul is the gong thought. Even if one's body dies, the soul which is inside the body won't die. So think carefully, where would the soul go if you die? The soul of the dead becomes unusable. So the soul has to be remaining as a ghost, okay? It has to be remaining as a ghost. That's why you need to receive the precepts. So it's a ghost that goes around and eventually disappears. No matter how rich you are, if you die, you all become ghosts. So you have to do good things when you are alive. You can't do good things if you die, right? That's why I'm asking you to receive precepts. If you receive the precepts, you have the bright light in your body, so your soul will turn into the bright light, so you can go where you want to go, and the way of looking at the world changes because you will see the world with the bright light. Get it? Because you see the world with the bright light, the world you can see is the Yonghua world. Do you understand? It's not like there is another world named Yonghua world. The world of Sabah where we live is the Yonghua world, but when we die, we can't see the world because the soul is unusable. Some people say there is the paradise, there is the heaven, and there is the place where the Sakra Devanam Indra live. These are all lies. What is in the sky? These days, the airplane flies so many times that ghosts can't live in the sky. Ghosts can't live in the sky because it is too noisy to live. Go to Incheon Airport, and you may find there is one airplane landing every 2 to 3 minutes. If such a big airplane passes by, will ghosts live? So the Sabah world is the Yonghua world. Get it? So, the person who received the precepts can see the Yonghua world. Those who haven't received the precepts can't see the Yonghua world. Their spirits become unusable because the bodies are dead. What do you call it? We call it Palak eye. Why are you laughing? They are Palak eyes even if they are eyes. The eyes are sightless. Isn't that right? It's called Palak eyes. You need to receive the precepts, right? If anyone receives the precepts a lot, he will see a more beautiful world. That is the Yonghua world. If you go out here, there's everything. Do you like to see such a beautiful world, or do you like to go up to the sky and live in the sky? If you go up to heaven, you can't live because it is so cold. Why are you laughing? You can't live because it's cold. You learned it when you were school. The higher you go, the colder it gets. What happens when cold air comes down and warm air goes up? Water vapor. It rains when there's water vapor. If you put the pot like this and turn the lid upside down, pour water into the pot, and fire the pot, the water will boil, right? If you turn the pot upside down and pour cold water into it, there will be steam coming up from the bottom. If you look inside the pot, there will be a lot of steam comes up. It's raining because of the steam. If it gets too hot, the sun is too hot. As the water vapor rises, the water vapor dries up because the clouds can't be formed. Then whether it's summer or winter, it doesn't rain. So, 4 seasons are good, but the earth keeps warming. The global warming is made by human. It wasn't like that before. So when the earth keeps warming, it will be disappeared. That's why people are producing electric cars, because you can't imagine the smoke pollution from the car. So people say let's use electric cars. Do you understand? Even if people can't farm because of the hot weather and everything is disappeared, you won't be disappeared. Gong thought can't be disappeared no matter how hot the earth is. You don't understand? I find some people are opening their mouth like crazy people. Why are you opening your mouth? You had lunch, right? It's been a long time. Believer Gu kept her mouth open. Come back to your sense and close your mouth. So, no matter how hot the earth is, even if it is hot enough to destroy the earth, the gone thought which you have won't be disappeared. Do you get it? Why is that? What? You are in big trouble. You won't be disappeared because you don't have the body. What is body? Body is the sentient being, and body is temporary. It is always called body when there is an object. People can't live in such a world because they have bodies, but it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold because you will go to the Yonghua world with your gong thought and without your bodies. Then, does a ghost wear a down jacket if it's cold in winter? You are a bit frustrating. The ghosts don't get cold easily, so they don't have to wear down jacket. So, you need to receive the precepts, right? Your answers are not satisfactory. I find you need to receive more precepts. Do you know how precious it is? Say you are going to die today. This is my last night to sleep and tomorrow is the day I die. So what can't you think? Thinking about your son? Thinking about your husband? Thinking about your deposit? You should think about whether you receive the precepts or not, because it is the number one you should think about. I'm not lying. If you die tomorrow, the money and your children is not important anymore. You are leaving tomorrow. You are going to leave this Sabal world. Since you are the sentient beings, you don't know how precious Maitreya Buddha is. You may know how precious Maitreya Buddha is when you die. You wait and see. I'm not lying. You will know when you are dead. So what is the most precious thing in the world? The gong thought. Since there is the sunlight, you can live. If the sun's light disappears, you will be disappeared in 1 to 2 minutes. How long are you going to last without breathing? The oxygen is gone. The oxygen is gone. If the oxygen disappears, will you last for about 1 minute without breathing? It will be over. Even if I'm telling you something precious, if you sit stupidly, you are just wasting food. You are not useful people. It's been for a long time since I said that. The religions are going to be disappeared. Why? The time that people believe in religion is past. The time is past. For example, you have a friend in Busan. This friend is very close with you, but it takes a lot of time. Go to Busan and meet your friend. So you need to write a letter, right? How are you doing these days? It takes a long time to meet your friend. So what should you do? You can call him, right? Not only calling, but also you both can watch each other on the phone. You live in such an era. Do you know how long a year used to be? A year was really long. These days, a year feels shorter than a month of the old days. Time flies so fast. That's how it turned into the speed era. That's why I am telling you need to receive the precepts. People are enlightened now. Since people are enlightened, they don't believe what they can't see, what they can't verify. I told you they don't believe anymore. It's all a lie that has no basis. So where is heaven? Where is paradise? Do you have to believe that? You shouldn't believe that, so look carefully. All religions are supposed to disappear from now on. Listen, why will the religions be disappeared? It's not like anyone told the religions to be disappeared. The world changes like that, so the things like Zen meditation, or praying for something good are supposed to be disappeared in the future. Look at young people these days, they don't want to get married. Why wouldn't they want to get married? In the past, girls and boys at that age are busy trying to get married, but nowadays, parents also don't care either their children will get married or not. That's how things have changed. Even if people get married, they don't have children. Why is that? It doesn't mean much when you have a baby. What's the point of having a child when you die? You just suffer a lot during your life. Young people would rather enjoy their lives. That's how times have changed. So on mid-autumn days, young people choose to travel abroad rather than visiting their ancestors' graves. They think since their ancestors are already gone, so they don't need to go to visit their ancestors' graves. They all go abroad to trade. The times are like that. Young people have enlightened. There are still people who are praying. Why do they pray? They pray, do the meditation, and pray to the Buddha and Avalokitesvara, who are already dead, for help. Why are they begging someone who's dead? Young people don't believe in that these days. Ask young people, they don't believe that. I'm not lying, they don't believe. That's why young people in advanced countries won't go to church or temple in the future. They never go. Do you think I'm telling a lie? It's been more than 10 years for me to promote the Buddhism. I've never told you to pray hard in temple. Why do you need to pray hard? What are you going to pray for? If you go home late after praying, your husband will get angry. He may ask you, why are you coming so late? Right? Even though you told your husband you prayed for his health, he might not accept it. Why is that? The times have changed. Think about it. What's the point of going to church, praying to God, going to the temple, chanting, reading the Heart Sutra? The times have changed. Think about it. It might be different if churches or temples teach something worthwhile. Otherwise, young people don't listen. There's no way to stop the world from changing like that. Who can stop it? They don't even listen to their parents. So would they listen to Buddha or Jesus? They don't. If their parents give them money and tell to travel to the temple, they may say okay. I'm not lying. As times have changed, those who came to Yonghwasa Temple are far ahead of those who go to temples or churches. Maitreya Buddha has come to this world to save people. So Maitreya Buddha have to give you the precepts even if I feel tired. If I hold your hand and give you the precepts, I think it is easy, right? I'm losing my energy. If there is a patient lying down at home, you will find you don't feel good after taking care of the patient. You are sucked of your energy. The patient's energy is exhausted. That's why the patient doesn't have any strength. The healthy person will become unhealthy if he serves a patient. I gave dozens of you the precepts today. I lost my energy. I couldn't even speak. Now I can talk because I have charged the energy. I was sucked of my energy. Why? The body of Buddha is also a sentient being. Get it? It's the same thing. You are sentient beings because you don't have the light in your body. Your bodies are the same as mine. I'm getting old as time goes by, and you are the same, but what's the point of a Buddha eating a lot and not saving people? It doesn't mean anything, right? I have to save those who died in a pitiful way and save the sentient beings, right? That's why I give you the precepts. If I only think about me, will I do it? I won't. I was able to live for 200 years, but I got sick because of giving you the precepts. I almost died because of sickness. I'm not lying. You saw me the other day. I didn't even walk well. I came with a cane. If I only think about me, I won't do that. I did a lot of Chindo ceremony performed to save the souls. I gave a lot of sermons, and also I gave you precepts. All these things suck my energy. I feel really tired when I go to my home. I have to drink a glass of water and take a rest. I need to warm up and take a rest to recharge, otherwise, I have no energy. So you have to know that, too. When I do it for you, you have to receive it. The monks should know that I'm not trying to ruin other temples. Think about it. The existing temples should be used. Should all the temples be closed down? It doesn't make sense. So all the monks should listen to my law. Since the monks have shaved their heads and become disciples of the Buddha anyway, what's the point of staying like this? Shouldn't they also save people? If they have that kind of mind, they should come to me and receive the precepts from me. And if there is something wrong in the existing law of Buddhism, they should revise it, and promote the good Buddhism. I would like to help the monks. They shouldn't stick to the wrong thing. They should learn the enlightened Buddhism that fit the times and promote the Buddhism that makes the world beautiful. Why are they so stubborn and saying something that doesn't make sense? Isn't it so? You are already out of the world of sentient beings. Do you understand? Do you know why? You have come here and learned the law of interdependent arising and the Gong thought. then you are already out of the world of sentient beings. Then if you go to a temple, and there is a monk trying to tell you about the gong thought, you won't even hear that. You know that the monk doesn't even know about the gong thought. What do you mean by monk? He's the guide who guides the sentient beings. If you go to church, the pastor is the guide. The guide should guide you well. What will happen if the guide leads you to the wrong way? You are all going to die. Go to the battlefield. If the guide leads to the wrong way, the followers will die. So, monks should listen to what I'm saying. Monks should think I'm not supposed to be like this. I should go to visit Maitreya Buddha, and ask Maitreya Buddha to tell me the enlightened Buddhism, and I also need to save people with the enlightened Buddhism. Monks should think like that. Look at YouTube. Monks are saying Maitreya Buddha will come 567 billion years later. They say Maitreya Buddha who has come to this world is fake. I don't know why the monks are telling lies. Those people don't understand what I'm saying. Why are they sitting like that? They would rather go out and have a job. If I were they, I would rather not run the temple. I won't lie, I would rather go out and do business or get a job or do farming. I won't do that kind of things. Do my eyes look like I am going to do such things? I never do such things. If you are diligent, you are supposed to make ends meet. If you don't have money, you live as you don't have money. What the point of living as a rich man? That's it, don't you think so? Am I right? It's good to live a happy life without starving your family, your wife, and your children. What's the point of being rich? It's really hard to take care of property. You don't know because you haven't done it. I know well because I've run a big company for a long time. It's really hard. Sometimes I felt burnt out, but when I do business, I've never experienced a labor management dispute. The staff followed me well, and I said this before, too. I gave my employees a bonus every 2 months. 100% every 2 months. What do you think? They might be afraid that I told them to leave. I was making a little profit and giving a lot to the employees. The money is earned by the employees, not earned by me, right? That's why I gave bonus to my staff, and I would sell things cheaper than others. Why are you selling it at a high price? Because my products were cheap. There were so many people who wanted to buy my products. I just don't talk about the past, the best conglomerates in Korea. I just don't talk about those conglomerates. The monks shouldn't be compared with me. I am beyond compare. I help those conglomerates a lot. I give everything to those conglomerates including technology. The monks can't be compared with me. The same goes for the pastors. They couldn't win this game from the beginning. Monks are emphasizing 567 billion years. Monks must have possessed with 567 billion year old ghosts. That's why they emphasize it. They are out of their minds. That's not a normal problem. Next time, I think I have to send them to a mental hospital. No matter what I say, they oppose me with the word 567 billion years. Are they fake, or am I fake? Look, I've heard that people called me Grandpa. A person called me Gampa. He must be a monk from Gyeongsang-do. He said to me, Gampa, you are old, right? Then you should put down your spoon now. Why are you sitting there? Grandpa, why am I a grandfather? You look old. Why are you staying here for so long? The Maitreya Buddha who has come to the Sabal world is not real. The real Maitreya Buddha will come 567 billion years later. The monks made it as a target at the temple. We should decide to set a goal of 567 billion years later. So Maitreya Buddha who has come is fake. Then Buddhists all over the country may say, the monks said that Maitreya Buddha who already has come is fake. I feel sorry for the female believers who go to the temple after listening to the monks. Do you know what should we call those female believers? We call them 3 foot long cotton cloth. They are just 3 foot long cotton cloth which go to the temple. You don't know what I'm saying? Am I a liar? I'm telling you the truth. They are bad guys. They all like that. There is a weird looking guy in Daegu, right? His face is not a human face, isn't it? Doesn't he look weird? There are a lot of people like that in India and other places. There are a lot of people who look like that man. There are a lot of people who look like that in Thailand. That man says I am fake, but he is fake, he is the imitation. A lot of Daegu people come to my temple, but do you think his face is a human face? If someone is a Buddhist practitioner, his or her face should look good, and as well as his or her personality. If you look at the monks, there are a lot of handsome monks. Monks who have handsome faces don't say like that. I know a lot of monks. The monks who look weird say weird things. They are total retards. That man is afraid his believers will go somewhere else. What is he doing? He acts according to what he looks. There is no Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. I sent her away. Do you want me to tell you about Avalokitesvara? She is only this tall, she is really short. She is short, she uses a hairpin on her hair bun. She doesn't look good. Her personality is not bad, but her appearance is like that. I released her, right? After I released Avalokitesvara, the Buddha statue of Avalokitesvara got darker day by day. You saw it, right? It was getting darker after I released her. How long did we leave the Buddha statues? I think it's about 6 months. Buddha statues got dark after 6 months. The Buddha statue of Amitabha got dark, too. So it is Chinda releasing souls, right? If a person say he can do something that actually he can't do, he is driving the sentient beings to death. Don't you think so? Doesn't he put people to death? If he can't do, he should say he can't do it. The monks tell lies and drag people around. The people who follow them also have a problem. The monk from Daegu came out as a representative of the Jogi order, and say, there is a temple in Anyang these days. There is a person called Maitreya Buddha, but that person is fake. The Maitreya Buddha will come 567 billion years later, so you don't believe him. He is crazy, he is out of his mind. What's Guanyiamsa doing? It's like a ghost in. You go there and see whether I am lying or not. They will close the temple, see what I'm saying is right or not. When monks say they are sitting inside the gateless gate, do the 3-month summer meditation. What is the summer meditation? Is that meditation? They just sit inside and take a rest. Think about it. Why are they sitting there? Are they prisoners? Why are they sitting inside with the door closed? Are they prisoners? They aren't, are they? Then why are they sitting there? They are just taking break. Monks who practice are supposed to achieve something, right? That's why they did tea. Look at the Buddha statue of Bodhisattva Bayab Gwang. Her supernatural power was the number 1 in the world. When she saw somebody, she knew that what date and what time he or she would die. She knew that the day and the time of a person's death. Her supernatural power was so great, right? So, there were about 3,000 people visiting Bodhisattva Bayab Gwang every day. She was an incredible person. So, there were a lot of people in my family who had such supernatural power from generation to generation. And then I was born. It's amazing. You live in Daegu, you have to go home, right? If you go late, you will be scolded by your husband, right? It is a good day because you have received the precepts. But you have to come again because you have to learn a lot of enlightened Buddhism. You have to live your life alone. There is no one who can be with your companion. Even if you receive the precepts, I won't take you to the Yongho world after you die. You have to go alone. That's why you should receive the precepts. It will be nice to go with someone, but there is no one to go with you. That's why you have to receive the precepts. After hearing that you should go alone, the people sit back there, can't even answer. You look anxious because you know you should go alone, but you have to go alone. There is no one who go with anyone else after the death, because you need to go alone. You have received the precepts. That's why I am emphasizing the importance of receiving the precepts. There is a temple in Incheon, and I heard that people in that temple make spirit tablet for the living. Why do they make spirit tablets for the living? To let the living die quickly. We don't need a spirit tablet, think about it. Don't call you as the Buddhists from now on, you should call you as students who are studying the Enlightenment. We plan to visit a temple, and the people in that temple told us not to come. If I go to the temple will hit the jackpot, but they told me not to come, so why should I go there? I won't go, will I? Why should I go there? Even if they beg me to come, I won't go. Let's set a date and release fish, okay? Wouldn't it be nice to release fish when the leaves are changing colors? If you don't want to go, I can go alone. Every time I release fish puff their mouths to express their joy. Fish know that I am releasing them. It's so amazing. Even though I am emphasizing the precepts, there must be people who don't know what it is. Last fall, I planted radishes in the countryside to use for making kimchi. We pulled out radishes, but we couldn't eat them. How many boxes were there? 6 or 7 boxes. We didn't eat any of them. Those radishes all looked like Buddha. We couldn't eat those radishes. Ask people. You have seen a lot here, right? We couldn't eat them. It was not just radish, eggplants, cucumbers, and watermelons also changed their shape. If you go to Sansingok, there is watermelon of this size. Go and look. The watermelon is just this size. It's not that big, it is just this size. So even those plants change their shape when they receive the Buddha's light. Why would I say that? Since you've received the precepts, your body has already changed. Got it? Your body is changed into the Gong thought. That's why your body is not normal bodies. You can't ask the female believers who have been here for a long time. My words are true. Your bodies are changed into a living Buddha. If you receive the precepts, your bodies are changed into a living Buddha. Should we end it now? You have to go home, and I have to take a rest. Come back next Sunday. Today is the anniversary of my father's death. It's the anniversary of my father's death today. Shall we hold it around 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.? My father is staying comfortable in Yonghua world, so we don't need to fix time. Let's take a rest now.